welcome back to another episode of Many Tribes, One Kingdom. It's your good friend Dustin here with another video. However, if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so you can stay up to date on all of our current content. And so now we're actually going to be starting a brand new series on theologians of history. So, if you have any ideas or any suggestions on theologians that we should cover in the future, please do not be afraid to let us know down in the comments section. Without further ado, today's theologian we'll be covering is Charles Spurgeon, a preacher from the 1800s. Charles Spurgeon was born on June 19, 1834, in a small village known as Kelvedon, Essex, England. A child of 17, unfortunately 9 of his siblings did not survive past infancy. Spurgeon became a Baptist and actually preached his very first sermon in the same year, the year 1850, at the age of 16. And by the age of 20, he had already delivered over 600 sermons. The sermons that were collected, that were in front of congregations, filled 63 volumes with a word count of between 20 to 25 million, which makes it the largest set of books of any Christian author. Spurgeon also boasted a very large library of over 12,000 volumes, 1,000 of which were printed before the 1700s. And one of his favorite books was Pilgrim's Progress, which he had read multiple times cover to cover by the age of 6. Charles Spurgeon did suffer from depression brought on by the evil events occurring around him. One event took place while he was preaching at the Metropolitan Tabernacle, when hooligans shouted fire, which caused a major disturbance. Believing this to be true, the crowd began stampeding to the exit. The result of this left 7 people dead and over 20 people injured. Now, of course, there was no fire at the time, and this caused Spurgeon to become very depressed about what had happened because the media was making it put it on a negative light in direction towards him, saying that he was the one who caused the deaths. Spurgeon was a Calvinist, however, he was unafraid to implement changes to how the Baptist Church operated. One of which was with the ordination process at his church of a reverend. In fact, Charles Spurgeon was never ordained and thus never receiving the title of reverend, settling for the title of pastor. Spurgeon stood in opposition to the opium trade in Asia and the slave trade in the U.S. He was a major abolitionist and major proponent of the abolition of both. This often left him to the scrutiny of the media, and in his time, which again spun this as a very negative thing for him. In spite of this, he still drew crowds of people, and even being dubbed the people's preacher, even to this day. Who Charles Spurgeon stood in contradiction to many preachers of his time who liked to use intellectual talk. Instead, he simplified the language and simplified the scriptures for the common man to understand. And in 1892, with his wife by his side, Charles Spurgeon passed away. This even sparked a letter from the British Prime Minister to Charles Spurgeon's wife Susanna to offer her comfort and praise for what her husband had done throughout his life. 60,000 people came to pay homage to him at his funeral in the Metropolitan Tabernacle over the course of 3 days. The funeral parade that was heading to the cemetery stretched about 2 miles long, with the amount of people following behind. This is all we have on Charles Spurgeon, at least for this video. If you'd like to know more or have more in-depth information, I'm going to leave a link at the end of this video to a documentary of Charles Spurgeon's life. Thank you guys for watching this video. And remember, comment down below on which theologian you want us to cover next. God bless you guys.